Hello, this is Matilda. Someone asked me to show them my 330 advance with Gaia, so this is what we're going to do. So this is a nice build order if you want to fire off some early pressure, like with a Fushi that ages up at 315, or against Poseidon, or a Chronos Thresh. It is also useful if you want to be aggressive as Gaia, which can be a bit nice if you are against a Freya, for instance, or another god who ages up very late, and who's not going to expect a Gaia player to age up at 330. Another cheeky thing I've done a few times is against Norse, if I can get my cavalry over the base fast enough and spot the Berserk and just drop the Carnivore and one-shot the Berserk, that can disrupt them quite a lot, so there's a few things to try. And basically the reason why you might want to go Classical Age very soon against an aggressive god, like Poseidon or Fushi, is so that you get a bunch more tools to help yourself defend, such as your Classical Age Myth unit, your Classical Age God Power, your buildings to make units of your own, and so on and so forth. So, it starts with 2 citizens on food. The next one is gonna go to gold, but first we're gonna let oracles go out on the map. So what I like to do is go to the other side of the map pretty quickly with my oracles so that I can scout the other side and then come back to safety before I age up at 330. I'm gonna put the gear first around here. Next citizen is gonna go to wood and is gonna build a mana first. And the next 3 villagers are gonna go to food. So there's not too much to do around here, just keep looking around the map. Look at your base. You can start to think about where you're gonna put your buildings. I'm gonna put the temple around here. So, as soon as we can, in just a few seconds, we're gonna build the temple. Then send the villager back to the gold. Next citizen goes to food again. And the last one after that is gonna go to gold. And we're gonna age up, well, pretty much when that citizen comes out. Now, sometimes you're gonna be a couple seconds late to get the food, depending on what hunt it was, the map, the walking time, so, or how quick you were to get the temple up. And so sometimes it's nice to just stop queuing villagers, auto-queuing them, wait a few seconds, age up, and you do get a few seconds of idle time, but you get that quick advance and all the benefits that come from it, so that can be something to look out for. So at this point what I like to do is put one of my food villagers on to build an eco guild and then to go to wood, so I end up with 4 on food, 2 on wood and 2 on gold. What I can do sometimes is, instead of going back, maybe not against Loki, but against another god who might go to town centers, I'm gonna keep an oracle near to a town center. I'm gonna grab hand axe during the age up. And what's gonna happen after we age up is we're gonna need to build a mana before we can get pickaxe. And because the mana costs a bunch of wood, if we get pickaxe first, we're not gonna get the mana in time and we're gonna get housed for a few seconds, which is gonna be troublesome. So next citizens are gonna go. If you want to go for a town center around 4:35 minutes, you can put them on wood and gold. Otherwise, I'm gonna put them back on food. So at this point, I don't have enough resources to build one of each building, so the first one you build is gonna depend if you, like, kind of on the matchup. If you get attacked by Fushi or someone at 3:30, you have an inkling of what, like if it's Poseidon, you know catapults are probably gonna be the way to open the game up with, and so on. Otherwise, if I'm gonna be aggressive, I like to just go with Marmilo. So because this is a Loki we're talking about, I wanna take a look at the base and see if I can drop the Carnivore on the Berserk. Actually, we're not out of pop yet. Never mind, maybe my brain forgot a thing or two. So yeah, that's the perfect sort of scenario I was talking about. It's usually harder to pull off against Loki, Odin or Thor. Not so much against Thor if you could go for the armory build, but against Freya it can work quite well. And so, if you can pull that off at this point, you've pretty much, maybe not won against Norse, but they're a good way behind. And so I'm gonna open with a couple Marmilo. I might go with my armory pretty soon, more so that I can research the bite of a shark directly in the armory rather than in my military barracks. And so at this point you just keep going with the game however you want. I might want to harass that gold mine. I might want to harass the berries or something. If I'd been a bit more thoughtful about my oracles and not forgot them, as I was speaking, I would have scouted the sides of my base, so I would know where to go for hunt. On the other hand, if I'm being attacked a lot by a Poseidon or a Fushi, I might not gonna go out of my base at all. I might just try to mass up an army, so that I can eventually, in 2-3 minutes from now, push out onto the map, win a decent fight, and secure myself a position around either another gold mine or a town center or a hunt. As I said, if you want to go for more frame or eco play after this aggressive opening, you can go for a town center around 5 minutes or so, well, more like 5:30, if you didn't put those villagers on food, those new ones, but on wood and gold. And if you'd scouted the town center, you would know where to go, so that's about it for the build order. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you another time. Hello again, so here's a little addition to the video. I forgot to mention that if you want to go fast heroic, you can do that in the next few minutes after opening up at 3:30. You could do that instead of getting a second TC. Maybe if you are facing an extremely aggressive Poseidon, for instance, and you know there's going to be a bronze push coming, you might want to delay it a bit, but after you get like full pop army around 120, 140 pop, but then have the Dryads to help with during for bronze push or something. So depending on how it goes, you might want to do that instead of a second TC if you're on a more open map where you could use the Contagious to raid or to take care of some archer backline. So you could also do that if you manage to do a bunch of damage early on with your Murmilo or something, and in which case you are far enough ahead to not suffer from the investment and then get something out of it pretty quick. So those are a few tips. And if you would like this Gaia portrait, because maybe some people like me don't like the Groot face that Gaia has, this is the Historically Informed Portraits mod that you can get on the mod browser. See you another time.